Hey, what's going on, everyone? I hope I find everyone very, very well. Hope that everyone had a great Christmas if you celebrated, and also an even better New Year's. So let's get the usual out of the way. Remember, guys, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And since these are general readings, they can either, the energies can either be coming directly from you or be happening to you from an outside source or from a person, for instance. And the energies can switch over upon any given instance. So remember to always just take what resonates and leave what doesn't and what fits for your unique situation. And please do not force anything. If you'd like to book a private reading, check the description box with a link there to my website. Or you can just visit intuitiveperceptions.com under the services tab. And yeah, book yourself a reading if you are so inclined to. Let's go ahead and bless the decks and we'll get started. Beloved God, I open all channels of light, north, south, east, and west. Guardian angels of the four directions, high councils who serve the holy law of one, holy pure ones, please anchor this space in your divine consecration to provide Scorpio with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, Father. And please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they are meant and or intended to be. All right, Scorpio. So, in terms of traditional tarot, we have the Two of Wands with the Six of Swords reversed, with the Queen of Wands, the Hanged Man, the Tower, and the Wheel of Fortune reversed. I haven't seen these two cards here to the side. Those are your advice cards. So let's go ahead and hop into the middle here. Okay, you could be dealing with the fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That's all I'm really seeing right now. All right, Scorp. I kind of want to open up your reading with asking you the question of, are we really willing to work on something or work on the situation that may transpire from a decision that we are not necessarily passionate for? If that makes any kind of sense. Basically making a decision and what comes from that decision, whether good or bad. Are we willing to work on the things that come from it? Are we willing to sacrifice when we really need to? Do we really even need to sacrifice in the first place? Is it of dire circumstance? These are the types of questions that I'm getting as I see your spread here. What I'm really picking up on is when we look out, Scorpio, into the world in terms of seeing our options, in terms of seeing what we need and what we require from our life, from our circumstances, just trying to see our options, trying to locate what's really out there and see what's really out there. Seeing if we have passion for anything else that's out there. With the Two of Wands here, that's what I'm seeing. Well, that's what I'm getting. That's where, or what I'm getting at here. Now, with the Six of Swords reversed here and the Queen of Wands, I'm looking at this, Scorpio, as maybe not wanting to walk away from a situation, not wanting to leave a situation, making the conscious decision to see something through. However, I feel like there was a lot of contemplation when it came or comes to this situation. And as I'm looking at these cards here, the three at the top, I'm picking up a little bit of fear. Fear in the terms of apprehension. Kind of looking out into the world and seeing where do we go from here? given that type of situation. And then when we look out into the world, maybe not being able to make a decision in terms of being a little apprehensive in making it, because we really don't know what's out there until we really experience it. I'm kind of picking up also on comfortability and complacency, leading to maybe not exploring life or exploring what your different options are. And I'm also feeling like maybe complacency can be somewhat of a detriment sometimes, but we don't really know until we follow it through. Because in order for us to understand that something is complacent, we actually have to stay within the situation to see the stagnation that comes from it. But then if we wallow and we dwell within complacency, we then can't, or we don't, really see what we need in terms of transformation, in terms of other opportunities that can present themselves, that can maybe better or worsen our situation. And I'm feeling here like there's a little bit of apprehension, like I said, some fear in terms of reaching out, in terms of walking into the unknown. Because I feel like when we walk into the unknown, Scorpio, there is apprehension and there is somewhat of some fear that's involved in that. And we also don't know what the confines of that fear entails. And I feel like that's where complacency comes in, or that's where it comes into play. Because in a situation, if we choose to stick to a situation, whether good or bad, we know the confines of it. We know how far we can go, how far we can come back, how far we can move to the left, how far we can move to the right. We understand the confines of the situation in terms of the complacency. Now, I feel as though that for January, there's a real sense here of sticking to your guns, but with a little bit of complacency. But I'm not really picking up that this is necessarily a bad thing. I'm picking up kind of, I'm going to say unfinished business. And I don't know why this sounds a little familiar. Maybe it's one of your guys' other readings in the past that I kind of feel like that line was attached to some of your readings or a reading. But I'm just feeling here that this unfinished business, it's not like you want to get back at someone or anything like that. I feel it's seeing the good in something or sticking around to see how something kind of unfolds. That's where I'm kind of going with it. In terms of the unfinished business, that's what I mean. You don't want to venture out and make a decision that necessarily won't serve you. So you want to kind of stay in that complacency, but at the same time, you want to see how things unfold. And I don't really feel like it's a negative thing. I don't feel like it's something that it's kind of plan or malicious plan that you have kind of going. I don't really feel like it's that. I just feel like there is a little bit of stagnation, I feel. But there's a lot of uncertainty as well. And I feel like you're trying to decipher between the two. So there's a little bit of uncertainty, complacency, and there's a little bit of stagnation kind of going on here. But I feel like it's for a greater purpose. I feel like there's a contingency, whether that's children, whether that's legal matters, whether that's whatever the case may be, that's kind of, I don't want to say in the way, but that is preventing you from moving from the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is making a decision and then seeing your ships coming in terms of that decision. But the Two of Wands is just looking out and seeing, okay, what are my options? Not really making a decision yet. That's what I'm saying. I'm feeling here that you don't want to leave this circumstance or decision or relationship or partnership, whatever it may be for you today. But at the same time, when we choose to do that, and when we choose to go with maybe complacency or comfortability, that's when we kind of just hang around and we wait for things to unfold. And when we wait for things to unfold, Scorpio, we kind of have somewhat of a lack of control of kind of what happens. When I say control, it's more of delegation. We have a lack of maybe of a say as to how we want to see things manifest. Then at the same token, we kind of don't sometimes, because then we understand the confines of that comfortability. See where I'm going with it? That's why I'm saying that there's a little bit of stagnation, I feel, but also comfortability, which leads to complacency. Kind of see how it's a little bit of a cycle here. It's a little bit of a circle, like cyclic in nature in a sense. And I'm also feeling like if you don't make a decision, Scorpio, in terms of really being invested in this situation and truly and organically being invested in this relationship or partnership, circumstance, whatever it may be for you. If you're not, then you need to make a decision to leave or to walk away or to find another mode of or another means of sustenance. But when we don't make this decision, Scorpio, I feel like with the Tower card here, the decision will maybe be made for us. And I don't necessarily believe that it's a bad thing, because the Tower card is nothing to fear. The Tower card is just simply something coming up that's going to be a drastic change. But we only have a reason to fear the Tower card. Back to the confines of the comfortability. It's the uncertainty as well. And when I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune reversed here, things aren't necessarily maybe moving in your favor. But if we made a decision to stay within the confines of the comfortability, we can't be upset if things don't really move in our favor. But at the same time, I feel like if we stay within the comfortability, certain decisions are going to be made for us in that comfortability, in that environment, in that space. And when those situations arise in terms of the decisions that are going to be made for us in a sense, or just the things that transpire from any situation or partnership relationship, are we going to be willing to work on those individual kind of aspects that transpire from just general change within an environment? That's why I asked you at the beginning of the reading, are we willing to work on something that we're maybe not so passionate for? Do we have what's the word I'm looking for here? Do we have I'm having a little bit of a difficult time coming up with the word. There we go. Thank you, Spirit. Do we have the discipline to work on situations that we're not necessarily passionate of or about? I feel like that's why the Wheel of Fortune is here for you reversed. I'm not looking at this as just completely stagnant energy, which it seems as though that's kind of what's going on here, and I believe that that's maybe a latent consequence of some of the situations that arise from this situation. That makes sense. I'm kind of going around in circles in my words, but I think you understand what I'm saying. The aspects that come from the situation, maybe not necessarily moving in your favor. So it is a little bit of stagnant energy. But are we willing to work on the things that come from it? And if the answer is no, Scorpio, then that's when we know that we need to walk away or we need to leave the situation or the circumstance. Because sometimes, we can sacrifice when maybe necessarily we're not so passionate about something, but we know that what the end result is or what can come from a situation. If it is favorable, then maybe we can kind of curb our emotions for the greater cause in a sense. And I feel as though that's what's kind of going on for you in January. That this is a month where it's going to, where life is maybe, possibly, going to show you that how important it is to always check in with ourselves, and how important it always is to make sure that the things that we know we want, or things that we understand, or that we believe that we want, if it's really what we truly want and desire, and what is the best for us. Because we can't pull out at the end when the aspects that come from the situation are not favorable. You can't all of a sudden just pack our bags and leave and be like, okay, I'm done. I choose to pull out here. Uh, I guess you can, but that says a lot about your humility, and it shows and says a lot about yourself and how you view yourself and how you view relationships and partnerships and situations. And it also shows the type of dignity that you possess. It's a very capricious situation to be in, and it's tough. It's tough to kind of either stay in comfortability and complacency, or leave and strive for something different. I'm not going to use the word better, because it could be better or not in terms of striving for something different. We don't really know that. And I'm feeling like an element of, like I said, that's why I brought up maybe if it's kids, or if it's maybe a job, or it's maybe a marriage, or there's some contingency here that is preventing making the decision. And I really don't really know what that is at this point. But that's really what I'm picking up here for you. But there is going to be change. But are we going to be willing to work on the change that comes from the situation? Or comes from the complacency, I should say. Because it may not be necessarily what you want, or what you want to deal with. But if you made the decision to stay within the confines of your comfortability, we have to be willing to work on it. And we have to work on it with a great attitude and with optimism. And we can't have a negative attitude with it, because it's a decision that we made. In terms of staying, let's see. The Empress, creation. Okay, the Two of Cups. So this very well could be, Scorpio, excuse me, a partnership or a relationship. But this can also very well be, with the Two of Cups here, the joining of your feminine and masculine sides, and really seeing what happens when maybe our ambition becomes debilitation, or when our feelings may get in the way of what we truly want to see happen in our lives. Or maybe there's a contingency, like I said. We have the Empress here. This is creation. This is manifesting something, but not only manifesting something and creating something, but it's also the maintenance of it. Which kind of sums up what I was saying here in terms of, are we going to maintain this situation that we chose to be in? Are we going to curb our emotions for the greater cause? Are we going to trust our spirituality? Are we going to trust our decisions? Are we going to work at what we decided was something that we wanted to create? I really feel like that's really what is going on for you, Scorpio. And I feel like I don't really have a solidified answer here for you, because I feel like there's a lot of things that are up in the air right now in terms of where to go from here, what to do, because I feel like these situations are transpiring right now, and it's not really, there's not a solidified answer right now, because this is a process that you must go through. I'm really feeling. Okay, let's go ahead and pull a Jesus card. Let's see what he has for you. Okay, so the first card that popped out is Give and it shall be given unto you. Luke 6:38. I believe Leo got this same card. If you have Leo in your chart or dealing with Leo, maybe check that video out. Pretty much, have faith in God. Mark 11:22. Scorpio, I mean, God's trying to tell you here, your higher power is trying to tell you here, Leo. I'm sorry, Scorpio. You could be dealing with the Leo. Scorpio, believe that God or your higher power is trying to tell you here that it's how important it is to have faith. Of course, yes. Faith is something we can't see. Kind of like the Two of Wands here. Looking out into the abyss and seeing, what can I do? What are my decisions? What can I manifest? What are my options? What can I work towards? And that's faith. Having faith that everything is going to be fine. Because it is. When God's involved in it, of course. And I believe that this card is here for you as well too. Given it shall be given unto you. How much faith do you have in the process of trusting God in spirit? Because when we trust, we then have the ability to strengthen our faith, to strengthen our ability to acquire and also to maintain and manifest our faith in God. But if we only have so much faith, or we only want to have faith upon certain instances, we're going to get what's given to us or what comes from that. Back to the idea, Scorpio, of how I said, are we willing to work on things that we're necessarily not really passionate for or passionate about? And I feel like it all kind of sums it up here for you in terms of how much faith do you have in any given circumstance, in any given situation. Because how much faith you have is what entails from what you get from it, or what comes from that type of faith, or the amount of that faith. And I feel like that's why this card is here for you, or these cards are here for you, because it's meant to show you that you must have enough faith in order to continue on moving forward, to create and to bring together those two elements that you need to strengthen your ability to have the faith. Most importantly, what you create is what you get out of it. And the creation is of faith, in the sense it's a consciousness in itself. So I feel like that's why these two cards are here for you. All right, Scorpio, you'll be all right. You could do this, okay? Just, it's going to be a learning curve for you, so don't worry about it. But worry about it, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Just have faith in God or in your higher power, okay, Scorpio? Check out Luke 6 and Mark 11. Pretty sure there's going to be something in there for you. All right, Scorpio, Happy New Year. We'll see you next month.